So I came across quite an interesting thread on Reddit, okay? And obviously, as you can see, it is titled, "I feel sorry for Zac." I really feel sorry for Zac, and I'm disgusted with TLC. He's a funny kid who probably grew up as sheltered as Lydia, making this television debut, and not only is TLC focusing / speculating on his sexuality, thousands of others online are too. Things like this can ruin people's lives to the point of no return, especially when it's someone who doesn't have the training or experience to handle the vitriol being thrown at him. I feel sorry for his family, who were excited to see him on TV only to see their son mocked, and he'll apparently be mocked more in next week's episode, which is this week, just to clarify now, folks. TLC had zero issues burying fact-driven stories about other cast members, but they air this drivel. From what I can see on screen, Zac's a goofy kid with a pure heart. Both he and Lydia have a idealistic view of love and marriage, and that's okay. It's refreshing, actually. Speculating about someone's sexuality is never okay. It's even worse when it's on a national TV. I mean, listen, first and foremost, I agree with what's been said regarding TLC themselves in particular, with the fact that, you know, when they throw people into their TV shows, they do cover up certain things, and they definitely want to paint a certain picture to draw in views, and obviously drawing people's attention for whatever reason. So I don't disagree with that in any type of form. But where he talks about the fact that this kid has not got any training or experience of being on TV, yeah, I mean, let's be real, a lot of people that go on TV don't have training before they go on TV. A lot of people gain their training after actually being on TV. So to be honest, that isn't really down to TLC, you know, because we've seen this time and time again with many people that have come on reality TV shows, whether that be on TLC or on another network. And we've seen plenty of people come into TV shows and movies, you know, that are not reality, and also being through, you know, one hell of an experience. So really and truly, that one itself in particular has nothing to do with TLC. If you are choosing to be on TV, that is a choice that you're making yourself. But of course, when it comes to TLC, we know that they are going to manipulate things in a certain way that's going to make people look a certain type of way, which it is what it is. But at the same time, though, if Ethan was the one that was okay with mentioning the fact that he thought that Zac may be gay, well, to be fair, it's more on Ethan for saying that than it is on TLC per se. And let's be real, when it comes to the family themselves in particular, the family definitely doesn't necessarily have people that are fan favorites in terms of liking them, more like fan favorites in terms of disliking them. It's more of a hate watch, I think, for some people anyway. And Ethan is definitely one of those people that, let's be real, a lot of people aren't surprised that he would be comfortable to say that Zac could be gay, you know, because, well, it's Ethan. You know what I mean? And also on top of that, we know that Olivia's always had many things to say about the family. So the grand scheme of it is, I don't believe that it is TLC's responsibility when it comes to someone being trained to be on TV or not. That is someone else's responsibility to choose to be on it. Now, at the same time, does this mean that Zac maybe has never watched the show? I mean, I beg to differ. End of the day, if he knows he's going to be in a relationship with somebody that is on a TV show that has been going on for seasons and seasons now, I'm pretty sure he would know a little bit about the show and a little bit, obviously, what to expect. And also, on top of that, I would imagine Lydia would have maybe gave him a little conversation about it. And if she's misled him, again, that is down to her and not down to the network itself in particular. But let's get down to some of the comments, and yeah, we'll see obviously what people have got to say here. Now, this one's a new one that I haven't seen, where somebody says, well, he's smiling and laughing non-stop and acting silly. What did he expect? Heaven forbid someone is joyful. We are so used to seeing miserable people on the show, open brackets, and on reality TV in general, close bracket, which is so true, that when someone generally kind and fun and yeah, a little naive / childish comes along, you'll hate it. I'd rather see someone maybe a little strange and happy than any of these other miserable people like Mariah, Ethan, or their parents. Honestly, I was going to drop the show, but Zac and Veronica are kind of saving it. So, I mean, listen, to be fair, this person's got a point. I mean, listen, I will say this though, even though I understand the rant here, I do feel like some of it is a bit far-fetched. But hey, you give me your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Now, also on top of that, someone else comes in and says, dude, threw himself into national television and started laughing non-stop and talking about Twinkie toes and dancing. What do you expect? Exactly. He made a choice to go on it himself. Okay, I don't bother. I don't blame her brother for having a view on him. It's hard not to. Most men don't act the way he does. And listen, it is what it is. You know, we are allowed to have a view. We are allowed to have an opinion, and it's entirely up to people how they want to react to it. And obviously, the person that made this thread has chosen how they want to react to it. Now, of course, it continues here by saying, while your first point I think is accurate, your last one is just ugly way of thinking. To be fair, the last one is a bit more what people may now call toxic masculinity, but that is here or there. Nonetheless, though, not a term that I like myself in particular personally. I wish I had a different name, to be honest with you. I hate the word toxic and masculine being in the same conversation, so in the same whatever. Anyway, with that being said, though, this person continues by saying, men shouldn't have to act a certain way or in a manly way just to prove their masculinity or toughness or worth in any way. To be honest with you, when it comes to Zac in particular, I don't think it's due to the fact that he, I just think there was certain things about him that felt a bit suspect. But would I have gone as far as saying that, yeah, this guy may be gay? I mean, to be honest with you, it wasn't when until Ethan said it. That's when I really started processing, thinking, is it a possibility? But at the same time, my thing is, well, you know what? Let me watch a few more episodes first before I get my own opinion. You know what I mean? But obviously, some people will make an opinion straight off the bat. But nonetheless, though, we continue here with this person that's basically softly trying to say, toxic masculinity in this sentence. But anyway, continues by saying, Zac has a girl who seems to adore him. Many women seek men like him. Ethan should be glad that his sister is happy. That's all that should matter. Zac is clearly more sensitive, sheltered, naive, and nerdy. Literally nothing wrong with that at that age. That is very true. Honestly, we need more men like him and less like Ethan just to project dangerous and toxic views about masculinity and everything. Most men don't act that way. Is just so lame. Why put others in a box that only further hurts men's mental health usually? I hear that. Somebody that understands the mental aspect of men, I completely get what this person is saying. Then also continues by saying nothing and not putting him in a box. That's a fact for nearly 90% of men. They just don't act that way. I mean, listen, I don't know if I'm going to go as far as saying that it is a fact for most men, because there's a lot of men on this world, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of men in this world that, possess certain traits, and then there's some that possess different traits. I think it comes down to what you're exposed to. Maybe this person is 90% been exposed to men in a certain way, and obviously, coming across someone like Zac is, something different for that person, which is fine because we have our opinions based on our experience and the things that we've been exposed to, and that's how it goes, isn't it now, folks? But let's just go down to one more little comment itself in particular here, and then obviously after that I'll let you guys. Well, after that, obviously, I'll be reading the comments of you guys in the comment section. But in this one here, this person says, I don't know what he is, and honestly, I don't really give an F. It's not my business. But I do know this: he said he grew up with his sisters, and he's a nerd. Now that's a very strong point. It has been documented that some men that grow up in a household that is female dominant, they do end up having some sort of tendencies that may be confused for gay when in reality it's not. It's just your environment. Like, for example, for anybody that watches 90 Day Fiancé, you know that Jamal is somebody that grew up with a single mom and was always around women all the time. That's why some people go out of the way to say that Jamal is gay, when in reality it's not the case that he's gay. It's just the fact that he was raised around women, so therefore he has some tendencies that can be seen as feminine and seen as obviously not familiar with men. Do you know what I mean? So therefore people then end up trying to put him in that box, but of course he's come out many times to say that he's not, and probably because he's not gay. You know what I mean? So to be fair, that is a very fair point itself in particular to be pointed out. Also, it continues here by saying, but to be fair, no, I wouldn't say that him being a nerd has anything to do with him maybe coming across as gay, because to be honest with you, there are many people in this world that are nerds, and there's nothing about them that actually screams that they're gay. So I don't think it's fair to put the word nerd in the same conversation as somebody that acts different, so therefore they must be gay. Do you know what I mean? Because yeah, there's many people that are nerds in different ways. Some people are nerds in ways they come across fragile, soft, or whatever, and then some people that are nerds who will still come across a bit more tough and whatnot. So yeah, let's just kick the word nerd out of the window here, folks. That's just my opinion. But anyway, we continue here where it says, So that pretty much jives with every straight male I know who is a nerd and who grew up with mostly women, and the fundy lifestyle too, and it all tracks. Now, I'm not too sure about the fundy lifestyle, something that I'm very new to, so I can't comment about that aspect of it. Then also continues by saying, what bugs me is the speculation from Ethan and whoever else in the family when he didn't say a damn word about Max and Micah's unusual relationship in the first couple of seasons. Very interesting. Lydia is obviously happy. Zac is obviously happy, and that interview they talk about expressing their feelings, shows that he and his family are really good for her and helping her grow. What is the problem? And you know what though, that this comment itself in particular, I definitely enjoy the way it ended on that last paragraph. Okay, where is the problem? To be fair with you, there's definitely not a problem, do you know what I mean? But obviously people like to speculate and have assumptions because certain people see certain signs, and there it goes, you know what I mean? But nonetheless though, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section and we can talk about it. As far as I'm concerned, I would say that this statement itself in particular is a bit far-fetched, you know what I mean? But it has definitely caused a good, healthy conversation in the chat, which is the main thing, isn't it now, folks? So give me your thoughts down below. Do you think that TLC are, you know, doing Zac wrong, or do you think he's a grown-ass adult who made a choice to go on a TV show? As well as also on top of that, do you think it was wrong for Ethan or for anyone else to assume that he may be gay because of the way he carries himself? Or do you think that people, you know, obviously are completely out of line or all that kind of stuff? Give me your thoughts in the comment section, and also stay tuned for this week's upload of the episode of this week's episode when it does come out later on in the week, folks. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.